In a shocking turn of events for Marvel, of course you guys have likely seen it by now, Robert Downey Jr. has been revealed to be Doctor Doom along with many other Marvel projects announced. A Fantastic Four is going to be playing, Avengers Doomsday is going to be announced, and Avengers Secret War is going to be, which I believe is the sequel to it. We're going to be talking about all of that, and we're going to take a look at discussing film on Twitter and what kind of society, I don't know if you want to call it the movie community, what the online people had to say about that. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with many YouTube channels. I want to give my thoughts on the entire situation first. My initial reaction to it was, first of all, RDJ just has so much aura about him. Of course, they had the big announcement. He takes off the mask and immediately does the thing, right? Where it's like everybody went nuts and it was an insanely cool reaction. But when I actually, because what's funny is I was sitting down on Saturday, I was watching some fights, and then I was scrolling through Twitter in between the fights, and I was like, huh? Avengers announcement? Robert Downey Jr., Doctor Doom? What? And I actually thought it was fake. I thought it was fake, but then I saw the official post and everybody actually talking about it, so this is real. And I've been very vocal lately about not liking really anything that Marvel has done recently. The projects that really stood out to me is one, Shang-Chi and Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought those were phenomenal. I loved them. So I don't think Marvel is in as it isn't a poor state, but I don't think it's just completely dead like people are saying. I think that with the Russo brothers coming back, which is fantastic, by the way, I don't know if they've dabbled in any projects. I'm not like super in depth with what's going on behind the scenes at Marvel, but of course there is something that needs to be done about the state of the MCU right now. What I do like is now we have a plan. We have something to build up to. We have Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. There is so much material that you could work with there, and I love it. One of the big problems was you lacked a big villain. Like throughout, since I think it was 2010-ish they started with the entire 10 years of the Infinity Saga. We knew that we were building up to Thanos. We were getting to know all these characters, having their little fights, having their little crossovers, and then we knew that this big finale was going to come here, and the Russo brothers completely delivered. So I love the idea that the Russo brothers are also in charge of this. The weird thing is, 2026, I don't know how much time that's going to really take to build everything up. But hey, the Russo brothers, I trust them. I trust them. I'm going to support them. There's a big problem that I have with this, though. I will not be able to see, and I don't know this much about the comics or anything. I don't know if Doctor Doom is going to take off his mask. If he doesn't take off his mask and just always stays like that, sure, it's all going to be okay. But I will never, and it's not RDJ's fault. It's not Robert Downey Jr.'s fault at all. I will never be able to unsee Iron Man. Doctor Doom will not be a compelling character to me. Doctor Doom will, whenever he's on screen and Robert Downey Jr. is acting, I will be completely taken away from anything that the movie is talking about because I only see Iron Man. I only see that actor. I don't think this was the right choice. He's a fantastic actor. He's great at what he does. It's super cool to have him be the idea of like, hey, he was the hero, the main hero in the Avengers, and now he's the main villain in the next phase. I think that's a cool idea, but when it comes to the movie, I will not be able to unsee him, and it's going to take away from my viewing experience. If they do something with a bunch of makeup, make him not really look like Robert Downey Jr., make me forget about it, make me not think about it, that is another case. And I would imagine, this is where it goes against my own point, because I would imagine that they know this. They know this over at Marvel. So maybe they do have a plan for it. Maybe they do, and everything will end up being okay. What I worry about is if they're just bringing back Robert Downey Jr. to generate some hype, and then the movie is a little bit lackluster like we've seen from products lately at Marvel. But it's another Avengers movie. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm very worried to see Robert Downey Jr. back. One thing that I am really, really happy about is that Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back as Iron Man. I think it'll destroy the character. It will destroy the legacy. I don't like it. I don't like a lot of stuff that they did with the multiverse so far. And this would really, really hurt the legacy of Endgame and Iron Man. So I'm glad that the character of Iron Man is being laid to rest. And something that I don't understand, which I would love if anybody could open up in the comments and let me know down below, without spoiling the story of Secret Wars or anything like that. People have been talking about Robert Downey Jr. being a variant. I don't really, I understand what a variant is, but I don't understand how that can tie in because people have been describing different scenarios like, okay, what if Doctor Doom takes off his mask, it's Robert Downey Jr. and Peter's there. Now he sees Tony Stark's face, but it's not Tony Stark, it's a different variant. I don't understand how that can work. If anybody could explain that to me in the comments, I would really appreciate it, but that sounds like an interesting storyline. But I don't want to make this video just about my opinions today. First of all, I would love to know what you guys think down below, but I want to take a look over at discussing film on Twitter over here because This seemed to generate some of the most hype, and this is where you're going to get a lot of movie talks. Of course, Robert Downey Jr. will star as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday in theaters on May 2026. A little while to go, but it's crazy, man, actually still seeing this announcement. But to get the idea of how people feel about this, I wanted to take a look at some of the top replies to this, because I also had to weed out a bunch of like, oh my god, or WTF, what's going on, or a lot of this is great, or a lot of this will suck. I'm looking for something that actually talks about it just a little bit more, and I had to include this one, okay? I'm sorry, I had to. It's not constructive, but I thought it was hilarious when I saw it. One of the literal top comments to it was, I hate you 3000. Come on, that's funny. I really, really like that. Like, are you famous now, this guy, right? So yeah, but this ended up getting a lot of attention over here. I thought that was actually really funny over there, but let's take a look at some actual criticism and positivity towards this. Another person, Resonant Justice, had this to say: all my hype instantly died. I love Robert Downey Jr., but what's going on? And this is kind of where I was like, I saw it and I didn't hate it, but I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I haven't actually read this. This might turn out for the best. Think about it. We got the concept of the multiverse now, so what if this is still Tony Stark, but the Tony Stark who has chosen the path of darkness after his father's demise? It could be interesting, that is, if they do it right. Okay. And, that's tough, because then you get into this point. Now I'm diving into something that I didn't really expect to dive into. Then he's not Victor Von Doom, hence he is not Doom. He's called Doom because that's his name. I mean, it could depend on how they do it. Like the other person said, he could have changed his name, but I understand that it might not be something everyone likes. I'm still excited to see what they end up doing anyways. Yeah, I'm excited to see it either way, but that's what I was talking about with the variant. So I don't really fully understand everything about the possibility for variants over here. Anyways, let's take a look at another post by Crazy Chuck 1215. This is like Bryan Cranston returning to star as Howard Hamlin in Better Call Saul. This is exactly how I feel about it. This is a very, very good point. If you guys don't watch it, Bryan Cranston was the star of Breaking Bad, and in the sequel series Better Call Saul, it's like Bryan Cranston coming in to star as one of the supporting characters for Better Call Saul. That's exactly how I feel about it. I wouldn't really feel too great about it. Now, and a lot of people also had this to say, which I didn't mention. Midas OW2 had this to say: that paycheck must have been insane. I've heard people talking about RDJ retiring. I didn't think that was the case. I thought he was just done with the MCU, but then I've heard him talking about actually coming back. He wanted to play Iron Man again, so I don't know. I'm sure they paid him a lot of money. But anyways, let's take a look at Blazer Legend Cepho. Can't see him as anything other than Tony Stark, not going to lie. That's exactly how I feel about it. I will be actively taken away from the movie if there's no reasonable explanation for this. I don't want it to be lazy. I don't want it to be just, he's a variant. I want it to be a nice story. I want him to have some Deadpool type makeup, if that's the case, to make me not look at Robert Downey Jr. Would he be a variant? I thought we were sidestepping the multiverse. I didn't know that. Were we sidestepping the multiverse? Is it because of Kang? Was that the only reason that we were talking about the multiverse? I have no idea what's going on with the variants, but regardless, we have another post to take a look at. And okay, sorry. I say this with 100% of my comic book brain and 0% of my movie brain. That might just be crazy enough to work. So there are a lot of comic book people who are fairly excited for this, and seeing that it could be related. And a lot of people, like I said, have been talking about variants. I just don't really understand the variants and how that could play into the story. But Robert Downey Jr. is awesome. I trust the Russo brothers. I love that they are in charge of these two Avenger movie products, because especially with how good Infinity War and Endgame was, especially Infinity War. Infinity War is my literal favorite movie of all time. Not even like just Marvel. Everything that I've ever seen, Infinity War is my favorite movie of all time. So I like that they're in charge of this. I'm just skeptical about Robert Downey Jr. in general, but I would love to know, as always, guys, what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you guys are interested, by the way, here is a Marvel movie that I reviewed. I just started this channel and really diving into it, so I hope there's a Marvel movie on screen there. If not, YouTube thinks you'll like this video the best, so maybe there'll be a Marvel movie there. I had to think about what I was uploading. Thanks for being here, guys. Take care.